What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy J Tuck. Real Cowboys fans, stand up. And y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know it's Monday night. And we got a party, man. Here on CFO Sports, every Monday night, we have a party powered by my good friends at the JJAANN app, man. So if you guys want to jump on the show, every day on Twitter, y'all, I get so many people, yo, Tuck, put me on your show. Tuck, put me on your show. On Facebook, put me on your show. On Instagram, put me on. Well, today is that opportunity for you to jump on the show and talk football with your boy J Tuck. So go ahead, click that link above, download the JJAANN app. I got 5 spots up here waiting. As you see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a bunch of spots available for y'all to jump on and talk football with your boy J Tuck, man. But salute to everybody in the chat. Y'all already lit. Y'all already ready to go because y'all know what y'all came for, man. If you come to CFO Sports right now, you're coming for one thing and one thing only, and that's that NFL draft talk, man. We are 17 days away from the NFL draft. I'm excited, y'all. Y'all know I'm excited about the NFL draft because it's right here in my backyard in Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I gotta show out for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I gotta welcome all these NFL fans coming here to Kansas City. I gotta take them to all the hot barbecue spots, man. I gotta take them to where J Tuck hangs out, man. So I'm excited about the NFL draft. I just got all my information about the credentials and where I'm gonna be located. I'm gonna be on Radio Row and certain interviews I'm gonna have, man. But it's not just about me. I'm taking each and every one of you guys who's been supporting me out the mud around with me, man. So I got some players we're going to be talking to, got a lot of things coming up, a lot of exciting guests, so it's definitely going to be a fun time. Do not miss out. That's why you got to hit that notification bell and subscribe, because we are getting grabbed up for the NFL draft. But like I said, hit the JJAANN app, man. Hit that link up above. I posted the link. Go ahead and jump on. I think I already got a guy wants to jump on. Let's double check, man. Oh, he driving, man. My guy said, man, you pay attention to the road, fam. Pay attention to the road, my guy, man.
I just wanted to jump on and say happy Easter to all the Cowboys fans out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's Montreal's own Canada's up in here in Canada. It's your boy Sid, man.
Yeah.
And, I'm the ref, man. I gotta go ref these chumps.
Yeah,
and throw
man.
some flags, you know?
Yeah, man. Sid, man, I'm gonna let you go, man, because the number one rule on CFO Sports, don't draft and drive, man. Don't draft and drive. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my guy Sid, man. But Sid, before I let you go, man, let everybody know where they can find you, my guy.
Yo, you can find me on Dallas Cowboys, the #4 Life, my YouTube channel. I already started making a creep. I had a few guys on the other night, and I'll be dropping a lot more content coming up with my guy J Tuck soon, man. So be on the lookout.
All right, appreciate it, my guy. Don't be a hater out there reffing, man. Don't be out there tossing them flags around. You know what I'm saying? All right, my guy. Appreciate you. Have a safe one.
Later.
All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into some draft talk. So, been having these conversations on social media, right? And today, the Dallas Cowboys are listed to have a 30 visit with Jackson Smith, man. And I know a lot of people are excited about this wide receiver prospect out of Ohio State, man. And I'll tell you this. Last year, when I was scouting Chris Olave, my head kept turning. My head kept turning. Like, who was this over here? Who was this over here, man? So it sounds like the Dallas Cowboys have a 30 visit. They met with Josh Downs, Quentin Johnston. Trying to think about all the 30 visits. I pulled up the video yesterday. But now they're adding Jackson Smith to the 30 visits. And so Cowboys Nation, I'm going to ask y'all in the chat. So I already see people talking right now. My guy Trill Holman says, man, I don't think we should draft a wide receiver at all unless we're getting rid of Gallup. So, man, Trill, man, let me ask you why. Because I feel like a lot of Cowboys fans, we understand that we went and got Brandin Cooks, the acquisition here, you know, via the trade. So they feel like we are set at the wide receiver position. But I don't know, everybody find some wood. Let's knock on some wood, right? Let's say, I don't know, hamstring, right? CeeDee Lamb's not. Do y'all still feel comfortable with our wide receiver core? I just don't. So I feel like until I can see it, because here's the thing, y'all. We got to understand, Brandin Cooks, though he's a nice acquisition, he's had some injury concerns. Like, he's had some injury history, right? Michael Gallup. I love Michael Gallup. Salute to MG13, the toe drags, everything. I love Michael Gallup. But we got to be honest as a family, y'all. When we watched Michael Gallup last year, it didn't feel like Michael Gallup. And we also know, even prior to the ACL, Michael Gallup was having constant injuries. So this is where I'm saying that the Cowboys have to consider a wide receiver, because if you look across the board, right, a lot of scouts, and I saw this today on Twitter as well, it feels like when it comes to Jackson Smith, that there's only one wide receiver with the first round grade. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent, not on my board, not on Jay Tuck's board. I got multiple wide receivers with a first round grade, but, you know, I do things a little bit differently. But if Jackson Smith is the only wide receiver with the number one grade, or the first round grade, there is going to be an opportunity for a high quality guy to be sitting there at 26. I see someone saying that, hey, Jackson Smith ain't going to be there at 26. You just don't know. You just don't know. Now, me playing devil's advocate, I would be shocked if he is there specifically, because like I said, when it comes to wide receiver one, I feel like a lot of people and a lot of scouts have Jackson Smith. Salute to my guy Nick, man, for the super chat. I'll get to that, bro, here in a second. But I feel like a lot of people have Jackson Smith as their number one wide receiver. So if that's the case, let's say Jackson Smith goes 12-ish, 13-ish, right? Then it's going to open up the conversation. Who was your wide receiver two? Is that going to be Quentin Johnson? Is it going to be Jordan Addison? Is it going to be Jalen Hyatt? Is it going to be Zay Flowers? So if we're looking at things from where we sit at 26, there is going to be a high chance, y'all, that there's going to be a top prospect, the wide receiver core, sitting right in front of your face at 26. And me personally, I will not be upset if the Cowboys just went ahead and grabbed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes when y'all go shopping, you might not need this extra shirt, but it's on sale, it's polo, it's sitting right there in front of your face. Just go grab it. I might wear it next spring. I might wear it in the winter, right? But I'm going to go ahead and get it now, because you just never know. And like I've been saying, there are three different ways you can go into this draft, right? You can go into win now, you can go into a futuristic pick, or you can go with an insurance policy. I think for a lot of us watching this channel, we are in win now mode. So why not go get the best weapon that's available at 26? I just don't feel like the Cowboys are going to this draft, y'all, like I did in the video yesterday, or I did it Saturday, whenever I did that last video, right? I don't feel like the Cowboys are going into the draft with this humongous need where we gotta. I just don't feel like we gotta. I don't feel like we gotta, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like if we're sitting there, whether it's a wide receiver or whether it's a tight end, we don't take tight ends. If the Cowboys believe, and Mike McCarthy believes, that there's a tight end in this year's draft that can really change the course of our offense and put things over the top, I'm all for it. I don't care about position value. I am not a position value guy. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you find a player that you want, I'm more the proponent of go get that player. Because here's the thing, we have done 1,000 mock simulations. We done been through this, y'all. It's gonna be hard to see if we can get some of these players to fall to 58. I know a lot of people are saying, okay, you don't need to draft Dalton Kincaid. He's gonna be there. Can you say Dalton Kincaid is going to be there at 58? Can you say that Zay Flowers is going to be there at 58? Can you say, like, you really can't say that these players are going to be 58. Going from 26 to 58, it's a long drive, y'all, to be honest with you. I mean, think about this. Think about how the Cowboys got wiped out last year. And what were we, 54? When did we take Sam Williams? Like at 54-ish, something last year, right? Think how we got wiped out. The board, oh yeah, we could get George Pickens. George Pickens will be sitting right there. Nope, wiped out. Christian Watson, wiped out. Like, we got wiped out, man. So there's some cases where if you feel like this is a position that can really help you, you go get that position and you just don't look back. I'm a proponent of that. I think the Cowboys can go in there with the mentality of being aggressive. They've been aggressive this all season. Why stop now, man? So my guy Nick with the super chat, man, $7 holler. Appreciate you, fam. Said, what's good, Tuck? Is there any draft prospect you would trade up for, only going to maybe 22, 24, a couple spot higher to get the guy they want? Yeah, well, I don't think he would be there, but, and I hate to kind of beat a dead horse though, I feel like if Bijan does slide, I think the Cowboys are going to consider go getting him, y'all. I just feel like they do. I feel like when you look at Bijan Robinson, just not from a running back lens, but if it's from an offensive playmaker lens, he might be the best offensive weapon in this year's draft. If he gets to round 22, you got to pick up the phone to see what's happening. You got to pick up the phone. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but Bijan would be a player I would move up for. Also, I mean, if Jalen Carter slides, yeah, I'm picking up the phone. But those two would probably be the two I would be like, all right, we got to go get them. The got to go gets. Now, this couldn't be a conversation, right? You have like Darnell Wright. You have Anton Harrison. If you're looking to get a tackle, you might have to move up to go get your guy if you're focusing on offensive linemen, especially the tackle position. But for the most part, if Bijan slides, which I don't think he don't. I just don't see it, y'all. I feel like there's too much circulating around Bijan. I mean, he's working out with Micah Parsons right now. That's a thing of beauty, right? I just don't see him falling that far. But if he does, I expect the phones to ring and Jerry definitely pick up that phone. Let's see here. 7 wide receivers listed on the top 30 visits. They are definitely considered wide receiver early. Exactly, JC, bro. They're considering it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't interview all these wide receivers just for the hell of it. You know what I'm saying? It's in-house, and they're trying to see, okay, if one of these guys slide, which one is going to be our guy? Wide receiver is definitely on the board. So I know a lot of Cowboys fans and NFL draft fans just being weird this year when it comes to Quentin Johnston. He doesn't high point the ball, but he catches with his body. I mean, man, we're not doing that. If Quentin Johnston is sitting there at 26, they're going to consider it. I feel like if Jordan Addison is sitting there at 26, they're going to consider it. Jackson Smith, they're going to consider it. Zay Flowers, I will consider it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like there's 3 wide receivers, 3 to 4 wide receivers. If they're sitting there at 26, they are strongly going to consider it. And why not? Why not? Like, let me know in the chat. What is the absolute position y'all feel like the Cowboys have to go at 26 or our season is doomed? Let me know, because maybe besides kicker, don't put out kicker. I feel like kicker, you know what I'm saying? The kicker's a need. But what is a position that you guys can think of that the Cowboys absolutely have to get that position addressed at 26? You know, last year was a lot different, right? We moved on from Amari Cooper. You had Michael Gallup coming off ACL injury. You had Noah Brown and CeeDee Lamb. Wide receiver last year was a pressing need at whatever we took Tyler Smith. I all messed together, right? In the first round. He was 24 last year, right? So last year, wide receiver was a pressing immediate need, and they still didn't address it until the third round. They still didn't address it to the third round last year, and that was a big hole that we all knew. The Cowboys moved on for Amari Cooper, and they knew that they had to go in there and fill that void, and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. All right. So a lot of people say the trenches is everything, O-line. Don't forget when they said that we didn't need a wide receiver the year we drafted CeeDee. Yeah, exactly. We didn't need a wide receiver the year we drafted CeeDee. He just fell to us. So I see guard, guard, guard. Now, here's what I'll say with guard, with the guard talk. I see your point, right? Here is why I'm not pressing to get a guard, because I understand Jerry Jones, man. Jerry Jones, he's talking right now. He's doing the whole circus event. He's on tour right now, just running his mouth. But there is zero chance you could convince me that the Cowboys are going to start day one, opening game, and either Tyron Smith or Terrence Steele is going to be holding the clipboard. I just don't see it, y'all. I just don't see it happening unless the injury, he hasn't fully healed, right? But I just don't see a situation where you have Tyler Smith, let's say Steve Avila as your left guard, right? You have Tyler Biadasz, Zach Martin, and Terrence Steele, and Tyron Smith is not playing. I just don't see that happening. I just don't see it happening. So from that standpoint is why I'm not pressing on guard. Because remember, y'all, we have to remember this. We drafted Tyler Smith in the first round last year. The Cowboys had zero plans for Tyler Smith, right? He didn't start in preseason. He didn't start in camp. He only started because Tyron Smith went down, Matt Waletzko went down. If not, we never see Tyler Smith. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just don't think that if they draft a guy at 26, he's going to be the instant plug and play guy. I think he's going to be more of a depth piece if you go guard, because I don't understand what they're going to do with Tyron and also Terrence Steele. They have to be on the field in some capacity, and I'm not a fan of moving Terrence Steele to left guard and kicking Tyron Smith over to right tackle, and we're going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm tired of the musical chairs when it comes to the offensive line. I want continuity, man. Yo, what's up? We got someone jumped in. Smoke 14, Smoke one. Oh, Smoke one for you, duh. What's up, bro? Can you hear me? I don't think you can hear me. Yo, bro, is your audio on? Audio, can you hear me? Check, check, check. Let's see. I'm trying to get them right. Let's see here. So my guy Martin Talks Cowboys says wide receiver weapon up on Dak. Yeah. I feel like Dak, after last year, what Dak went through, he deserves an overload at weapons, man. He deserves an overload of weapons because of how dirty they did Dak last year, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Dak deserves just an abundance of weapons, man, because they hung Dak out to dry last year, and Dak being the trooper he is, he sat back, he took it on the chin, but, you know. See, I'm worried about TP's injury. Is he going to be fully healthy or Gallup healthy? That's a good point, Andrew. And that's something you have to consider. And also, Andrew, what we also have to consider is that the difference between Michael Gallup and Tony Pollard is coming off of an injury, and he's also playing on the franchise tag. He's not going to be rushing back just to get back on the field, because running backs, it's a different situation playing as a wide receiver on a tag or a tight end on a tag. It's a little bit different. As a running back, they are expecting you to come in and take the ultimate punishment. And we saw what happened. These players aren't dumb, y'all. These players ain't dumb. They sat back and saw what happened to Dalton Schultz. How Dalton Schultz, played on the franchise tag, his value diminished, and now he's in Houston playing for damn near less than what he would have signed for. Like, they see what the running back market is right now. They see what's going on, so they are fully aware. I just don't think that Tony Pollard is going to be rushing back to play hero ball on a franchise tag post-injury. I mean, and I'm not knocking Tony Pollard for not doing so. I would definitely understand it if he wants to take his time and fully recover, because when you rush players back, we saw what went on with Michael Gallup last year. Michael Gallup was just a shadow of himself, and it didn't feel the same. Yo, what's going on, bro, man? What's going on, man? You right?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good, man. You good, man. What's going on with you, man?
Man, that's the first time I'm using this thing, man. I'm like, man, I hope you can hear me, bro. I've been trying to talk to you for the longest, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, what's going on, man? It's the power of the JJAANN app, man. Appreciate you, my guy, man. What's going on with you?
J-Tuck, bro, I want to tell you, between you, Law Nation, Big Game James, Boss Cowboy, the whole content for all Cowboys, man. I mean, y'all, people don't understand how much y'all content brings the nation together, bro. And like, talking about things every day, bro, it's so outstanding, man. I listen to y'all almost every day. I'm a retired Air Force guy, so I listen to y'all every day, man. My man.
Appreciate it, man. So, appreciate it.
But anyway, I wanted to tell you, man, like, seeing the prospects. I know you've been seeing the prospects. I've been seeing you on Twitter, bro. I mean, I've been going kind of crazy a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, some of them guys, bro, in the later rounds are just ridiculous, man. We can get whatever we want in the later rounds, man. It's not even funny.
Yeah. And that's what I always tell people, man. The first round of the draft, that's for the red carpet. That's the show. That's the suit and tie. That's where all, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But when you really build your team is on day 2 and day 3. So that's why me personally, I love getting deep into the draft. That's where the fun really starts. Like some of the guys I've been posting, I got a lot more coming up here for y'all. Like that's where it's going to be fun because a lot of people was talking about the, Bijan or Gibbs, man. I got an Israel Abanaconda video coming up for y'all to pit. I'm going to drop that tomorrow. But like, man, you're going to look at him and think like, I'm cool. I can wait. I could wait to the 3rd. I could wait to the 4th. So that's what it's really about. It's just being patient. But I feel like when it comes to most draft fans, they don't get the exposure besides just the core guys you hear about in the first round. But this draft is deep, man. Big School, man. What's going on with you, bro?
What's happening, man? How y'all doing?
Good, good. What's going on with you, bro?
I'm good.
Nothing much. Just pretty much waiting on the draft myself. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm from Alabama, so when you said Jameer,
that's your guy. That's your guy. Yeah.
Yeah. But I like what you said. As far as like when you said, you just hear about the guys in the first round. I feel like you said, it'd be those guys later on. Like when you look at Tom Brady, when you look at where he was drafted,
right?
And then what he produced when he started the game, you was like,
right, where he come from?
This guy was just
right.
Even with Dak and Romo. See, and I'm gonna tell you about a lot of Cowboy fans too. They forget how good Romo was.
Right.
He just didn't have that line to protect him the way that they should have protected him. But they forget how good he was. And Romo was that guy that made you turn your head like,
right.
Hey, we got something here. So when it comes to people just looking at the first round, I always tell them it be those guys like even for my boy Derrick Henry. He was drafted 2nd round and he's producing. I feel like he probably gonna lead, but I just like how you gave exposure to those guys who drafted in the later rounds and has been producing. If you look at a lot of those guys who went first round,
they don't. Right.
They're there.
Yeah. Because you got to understand, a lot of these players too, they competitors, man. So they understand what it's like to sit back and watch these players in the games get called over them, and you sitting there day 3 with your mom and your dad and your family, you kind of embarrassed. That builds something in you. That builds something. Okay.
That Cooper Rush feel.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you sit back saying,
back up to that.
Yeah. So I'm the 7th best running back in the draft. Okay, I got something for that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it automatically builds something for you. And a lot of people, and I always say this, right? The one thing that we can't scout in the draft, y'all, is the players that wants to be great football players, or some players just want to get a few extra dollars and flex on Instagram. So a lot of these players, they get their money, they get that first round money, they done. But for some of these younger guys, they are after more than that. And those are the players you got to definitely watch out on because they keep that chip on their shoulder throughout the season, the course of their career. So it's like you go through the list, a lot of top players in the NFL history, but not day 1 guys. That's why I keep telling everybody the draft is more than one day. Like the red carpet, all the glitz and the glamour and all that's day 1. But I'm telling y'all, day 2, I remember I was in the draft in 2016 in Chicago when we drafted Zeke and also Dak. But I remember Chris Jones, who got drafted here in Kansas City. So I was right there by the stage, and he got skipped over and went day 2. But, man, when he came off that stage, man, he had tears of emotion. He hugged me like, and cried. And I was like, man, this dude going to be a savage because he felt that sliding out the first round. So that's the magic of draft season. So Smoke, I'm going to kick over to you real quick, man. So we were talking about wide receiver. Would you consider going wide receiver at 26?
Yeah, good.
Bro, we talked about this before, bro. I swear we had on Twitter. I mean, you were like, man, it's like maybe once or twice we talked about it, Me on wide receiver, I'm not really big on wide receivers when it comes to skill positions wise. Like, I need route runners, man. I need separation. I need guys to get open quick. Right. I mean, you know how y'all are about saying the Cowboys want big wide receivers. We understand that, but the NFL changed so much, man. It's about quickness and speed and getting open quick, fast. Right. We have big possession receivers, all of them.
Right.
All of them. Besides Cook, of course. Cook is pretty fast, Right. But for the life of me, I don't know why we didn't play Turpin in the slot, bro. You know how fast that dude would get open, bro? I don't get it. I really didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said getting these shifty guys. I'm from North Carolina. I stay in Texas, San Antonio. I know about Josh Downs.
Yeah, that's my
I know
dog.
about Drake May. I know about quickness wide receivers. Give me Flowers. Give me Downs. I'll take them all day. I even take Charlie Jones, bro. That joke is nasty.
Right.
Trust me, he's nasty,
he's
bro.
Nasty, bro.
That dude can go open quick. But first round, nah. Give me second, third. I'll get second, third. I'll take that.
But see, here's my one pushback on that, bro. I just don't feel like at 58, and maybe, and granted, y'all got to take these mock drafts we do with a grain of salt. It's all, but it's just like, man, I saw how we got wiped out last year. Like that board, because I was sitting there thinking, okay, boom. We took Tyler Smith. Okay, day 2, we might get a Christian Watson. I like Khalil Shakir, who went to Buffalo. Like there were some names in that day 2, and I'm sitting there watching the list. Like, there they go, and there goes the tight ends. There goes the tight ends. You know what I'm saying? Trey McBride. So it's like, it's just gonna be hard. Because I want to get, if we're gonna get a wide receiver, I only want to focus in that tier 2 and above. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get to like tier 3. Where it's like Xavier Hutchins and then like, some of those types of players. But I want a guy like, soon as he steps in Dallas, he's one of the top best wide receivers that we got in our offense. And I feel like you're going to have to do that early.
What about a cornerback?
You think in the first round though? But in the first round, you think we should hit somebody on the first round? That's okay. Listen, we hit good on CeeDee. We did. We hit good on CeeDee. There's no doubt about that. I couldn't taste.
Right.
But who do you feel in the first round is guaranteed going to make it on our team and start?
I feel like there's 4. Jackson Smith will, Quentin Johnson. He won't, but he eventually will. I feel like Jordan Addison. See, like,
what about Flowers?
And see, like that's the thing. So it's like it's hard because it's like you brought in Brandin Cooks, but I'm thinking through the course of the season, you're going to see dividends pay off with those players because it's just like, I just don't trust Michael Gallup going through a whole season healthy. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I don't know. But if you tell me, right, would I rather have Quentin Johnson as my ex or Michael Gallup? I'm going with Quentin Johnson. I'd rather have Jordan Addison. I'd rather have Zay Flowers out there. You know what I'm saying? But just from the Cowboys standpoint, I know they just paid Michael Gallup. They just restructured his contract. He's going to be in-house, but I just don't. Until I see the bounce back, bro, I can't buy in on Michael Gallup yet. Scooby, you're talking about corner.
Let's go one time. Let's go next, man. Hold on one second, okay? All right, think this now for a second, bro. Would you rather have speed, quickness, no hands, or some side hands, or would you rather have speed, quickness, hands, and can get open quick? What would you rather have, bro?
I'm taking the second option, man.
Okay, so who in this draft out of the gate do you feel will be speed, quickness, hands, and can open real quick?
I feel like
somebody in that draft right now.
I feel like Jackson Smith is one of the purest route runners in this year's class, right? So he's surefire, quarterback friendly. I feel like next to complete everything that you said, I would probably say Josh Downs would probably be my second guy. Then you got Zay Flowers. Then you probably got like Tank Dell. You know what I'm saying? Like the Quentin Johnson.
And it goes down the line, right?
Yeah. So I would feel like that would kind of be my course of action when it comes to those types of wide receivers with the speed, the quickness, get open, hands. What you can really trust would be those guys. But there's a lot of different flavors of ice cream. It really just depends what you like. But like I said, if you want a guy that can come out and really kind of go out the gate and change the course of your offense, you might have to go day one. And why not? Because I feel like everything that you need, you can possibly get. Like my guy Iceberg Slim, it's like you got Marvin Mims. So I feel like Marvin Mims is kind of like that second cluster, like that. Even though I love Josh Downs, I feel like teams
I see what you're talking about, the second cluster.
Yeah,
kind
of like that
Marvin Mims type.
Yeah, that Marvin Mims, that Josh Downs. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of cluster, man. So Scoop, what was you saying about corner, bro?
Yeah, go ahead, Scoop.
It's the Kelvin Joseph issue. It's the Antonio Brown issue.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
I mean, we got
Gilmore, Diggs and Gilmore.
But Diggs and Gilmore. But Bland ain't certified like that neither. So it's that issue too.
Yeah.
Kelvin. Now, but I will say this about Antonio Brown. He played. alright before he got hurt. Not good, but he played alright. It was better than the year where I'm talking about it was just penalty after penalty after penalty with him, you know. But I feel like we need to settle for a cornerback the first round. The reason why I said that because I see a lot of good cornerbacks, but then people gonna say receiver. Some people gonna say, well, you know, Zeke don't, so let's try a running back because they might not play Malik Davis.
Right.
I even said this though, and it was referring to the defense. Like I said, I'm from Bama. I was talking to Law Nation on the show one time, and I said, Law, we need another edge rusher. I was like, that's not Michael Parsons.
Right.
I was like, Michael Parsons can do it, but Michael was more effective. I mean, he was effective last year, but he was more effective when your quarterback had to look around and see where this guy was.
Right.
I still think Michael's out of position, though. I still think he's out of position.
But he is because he was accounted for.
Right.
Once you accounted for as a player like him, once you accounted for, and they got a scheme against you.
Right.
Like I told Law Nation. Do y'all know who Law Nation is?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's my brother.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of which, man, we're trying to get Law Nation to 100,000 subscribers, man. So if y'all not subscribed, we trying to help him break that mold, man. Because it's not going to only be big for the Cowboys community, just for YouTube in general, man. Because
it's gonna be a party on the JAANN.
Yeah. We got to throw a party, man. It's gonna be a party. So yeah.
So, but what I was saying was, I just feel like we need those other guys in those other positions.
Right,
like I said, because when Michael Parsons was accounted for, you seen it in the Eagles game, how the Eagles, threw to Antonio Brown and did, Green and did all that other stuff, when he came with Green. So I feel like he was accounted for.
Right. But
when he's not accounted for, he's a whole nother beast. He's that type of guy that, like I said, the quarterback has to look around and you have no scheme for that.
Right.
And they had a scheme for him.
Yeah, and here's what, and I brought up the point the other day on Twitter about corner, and a lot of people are like, we don't need a corner that high. I'm like, yes, we actually do, because what people got to understand, even though Gilmore, that's a great acquisition, he's only on a 1-year deal. He's a 1-year rental. You know what I'm saying? For you Cowboys / Mavs fans, it's kind of a Kyrie type thing, right? It's a whole another conversation. But so you lose possibly Gilmore, right? Anthony Brown, he's still a free agent coming off an Achilles. You have Jordan Lewis, who kind of coming off an injury, so you don't know what's going to be. And we have Deron Bland, but here's what Cowboys fans have to understand. We've seen sparks with Cowboys players, and then they fall off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, can you really put things together for another full season with Deron Bland? It remains to be unseen. So it's like, for me, I would go corner. Would I go at 26? Maybe not, but I took him at 58 in the second round, and a lot of people are like, we don't need a corner. Like I took Tyreek Stevenson out of Miami. I was like, yeah, you're going to need another boundary guy. And we remember what happened last year, y'all. Those injuries added up our secondary. It was just like boom, boom, boom. And it was me out there playing corner. Now, granted, you do have Israel Mukuamu who can convert to corner as well, but it's like, you know what? Why not go get depth pieces? I feel like the Cowboys right now, and granted, I hate saying their name, but we are in the kind of situation that Philly was in last year, where it's like, all right, we have our core there. Now we bring in the younger guys as depth pieces, because Jordan Davis, he didn't play that much last year. N'Kobe Dean, he didn't play that much last year.
Let me ask you this. As far as our pieces, I said this a long time ago. I said, we sit up here and we get these cornerbacks. We get these tight ends and we get these receivers. And we don't utilize.
Right.
I've been waiting for Simi Fehoko to get out there. I actually watched him in college. I'm a college guy before I watched college first. That's on my Saturdays and stuff.
Right.
I go to the NFL.
Right.
I've seen this man play.
Right.
That man is a dog for real. If you've seen him play, he's a dog. Why is we not utilizing him?
Kellen Moore.
Scheme, man. It's all scheme. I'm telling you, bro. It's the Kellen Moore factor scheme. I mean, listen, Boss talked about this so many times about that, and you talked about it too, Chuck. Mm-hmm. You talked about those daggone
option routes.
Option routes.
Yeah.
Those option routes. Man, listen. If I'm a receiver and I'm playing receiver, bro, I promise you, if I'm playing receiver and I played receiver in high school, I played a little bit, I was in the military and all that, I know how to run these routes. I mean, you give me a route, I'm running it.
Right.
I'm running the route.
Right.
Don't give me, hey, this guy's here, you run there. Don't give me, this guy's here, you run there. Don't give me, hey, you should go under a linebacker when you're not supposed to cut in front of the safety and the linebacker. Don't tell me that. Don't give me options.
Right.
Tell me where to go. Let me go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're giving You messed it up for a quarterback. He had to think about 4 different routes in one tree, bro. Like, he had to make sure he's going that. Are you gonna go that way?
I don't think a quarterback shouldn't be. I think a quarterback,
he should decide.
shouldn't be an offensive coordinator.
Right.
He should decide where a wide receiver should go.
Right.
He should decide.
Chase, my guy, man, what's going on with you, bro?
How we doing?
Good, man. So we're talking about wide receivers, but yeah, I agree with y'all. I feel like when it comes to development of Simi Fehoko, also with Jalen Tolbert, because a lot of people want to hold me hostage about Jalen Tolbert. Like you said, those option routes are tricky because I'm not playing with natural instinct. You tell me to beat my man on a 7 route or a curl route, okay, cool. But if you tell me I gotta beat my man, but if this safety comes over, then I need to bend a little bit. So not only do I have to think like highly, but I have to think on the same accord of what Dak Prescott is seeing. So it's difficult. But Chase, what we're talking about at 26, would you consider the Cowboys adding another wide receiver to this offense?
Oh, absolutely.
There we go.
I've actually been on top of wanting a pass catcher, preferably a wide receiver. I know the talk is tight and all that, but I prefer like the Zay Flowers of the world, Josh Downs, the Jackson Smith and Jigba, which I guess we had a 30 visit with them today. That's a good thing. And those guys and the Quentin Johnsons of the world. Like I think if one of those guys is there, you got to take them. I think you do. It's that or O-line for me. I mean, it's one of the two, or guard specifically.
O-line, 3rd or 4th round of me, baby.
I think
and there's only a lot of guys over there.
Yeah.
A lot of guys
but so with that first round, if you want to get a wide receiver with that first round, then that's fine. But that boy Parsons making a strong argument for that boy Bijan.
Bijan, yeah.
They got that working.
I mean,
Bijan's there. Put in the card. It's not even a question.
Like I said, y'all, if Bijan remotely gets out of 20, Jerry's gonna sit up in his seat because, like I said, the one
put a card up, man.
Yeah, he gonna trade up. He gonna sit up in his seat a little bit because think about it. We lost Ezekiel Elliott, y'all. We need another spark plug offensively. And think about the one thing that's gonna sell jerseys off the rack instantly. If you go get Bijan with the Cowboys, the way things are constructed, it's gonna be box office. With this fan base, gonna be united.
Only there for 1 year. Only there for 1 year.
You know who I want though?
Who's that?
Give me Jameer. And this is what I say. The reason why I say Jameer. I'm a Bama fan, so I watch his games closer than others. Coach Mar just had it came up. So what Coach Mar and Coach Mar gonna agree with me on this.
Yeah.
Me and Coach Mar, we have some of the same thing about a team, but I'm talking about the team later because Coach Mar agreed with me just this past week. But the reason why I want Jameer, because Jameer, he can catch in the flat. Anything you need him to do, whether it's catching, running. His blocking was kind of good at Bama, but like catching, running, doing all that. I'm talking about catching downfield like you're a receiver. I'm talking about running as a short kid, but with a whole lot of power.
Right.
When I seen Jameer Gibbs do that, what up, Fletch? When I seen Jameer Gibbs do that, it showed me the evolution of the running back, of the running back position. Right. So that's what I mean. He just like a Pollard. Yeah. Pollard can do the same thing. He can get downfield and catch. He run, and when he run with authority. So if we can get those two guys, well, we already got Pollard. I hope we sign them. But if we can get those two guys to be that still again maybe that thunder and lightning or whatever you want to call it, that boom and that bam. Man,
so let me ask you this, because I like Gibbs, but do you take him at 26? I feel like that's the only chance. I feel like that's the only way. I feel like that's the only way you get him.
The only chance you're gonna get him.
I feel like that's the only way you're gonna get him. Because soon as doors open up for businessman day 2, I feel like Gibbs is out of there. And especially if Bijan goes super early. Let's say Bijan goes 11. He might even go day 1 because he's going to be
the second 17 or 20.
Yeah, he's going to be the second running back off the board. So that's the thing. It's like if you want Gibbs, he ain't getting a 58.
Buffalo 27.
Well, Tuck, let me ask you this. Ask Coach Mar.
What's going on, Coach, man?
What's going on, fellas?
Yeah.
How you doing, Coach Mar?
So, Coach, man, let me ask you, man.
How y'all doing, man?
We good, man.
Right,
we chilling. We chilling. So, Coach Mar, we at 26. You taking running back? You taking Gibbs if he's there?
I wouldn't go running back at 26.
Okay.
I don't think the Cowboys are going running back at 26. there's a there's a lot of running backs that gonna be able to do what Mike McCarthy wants them to do. I think sometimes we get so enamored with the guys that that are at the top that are dynamic, but there are some dynamic guys that you can get in the third round that's gonna be just as dynamic with the combination of running backs that you have. It's crazy to me that last year that the nation was talking about, man, Tony Pollard should get all the carries, Zeke needs to be on the sideline, and it's almost like it's setting up already that if Tony Pollard goes out and have a game where he gets, the running game gets stuffed. Oh, we're going to throw him off the boat. Yeah, that's the end of Tony Pollard.
Well, you know how Cowboys fans is, Coach. We don't like people when they get their money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. It's already, the groundswell is already setting up for that. But I think what you're going to have, now listen, I really think we are underestimating Robert Jones. Robert Jones is not a bad running back.
Right.
I mean, let's talk about, he was in the offense. But when he was in the offense, when the offense was depending on him to run the football, he did very well. He is a good running back.
Right.
So, I think if they get a running back, is a running back that they're not going to want to have the pressure to give him top starting position. Because you draft a running back in 26,
right?
Everybody's going to be clamoring on the door for this guy to start.
Right.
So what they're trying to do is, if they can get a running back that's going to give them some production, but can be that replacement to Tony Pollard next year, that's what they're really looking at. I personally like the running back out of TCU, and I love Spears out of
Tajay Spears, Tulane. Yeah. So you mean Keandre Miller out of TCU?
I've been trying to ask Coach a question though. I've been trying to get hold of Coach for a while. Coach, I'm gonna subscribe to you too, brother. I've been messing around. I swear I have. I've been lost freaking subscriber for 6 years. I missed out on YouTube, brother. I promise you, I'm gonna get you next. But man. So I sent you a message about Keaton Mitchell, brother, and I didn't get ECU. I'm still waiting for you to tell me, like,
no, bro. Yo, so I'm not sure if you caught the Final Word draft show, man. I love Keaton Mitchell out of ECU, man. He's fire. The only reason I haven't cut up y'all film because it skips on me, so I can't put that out. This bad film, but yeah, Keaton Mitchell, man, he's explosive. He's explosive, and I keep mentioning him. To a lot of people on these mock drafts, like, why you keep taking him? I'm like, listen, man, this kid's from a small school, but he kind of has an Alvin Kamara type feel that if you get this kid, he's explosive. And that's the thing, right? Because we had this conversation on the draft show about Zeke versus Pollard. Now, granted, the money had to take a factor of it, but if we're looking at the way this draft is set, you honestly could have got rid of Tony Pollard, because there are a lot of running backs that are very similar to Tony Pollard in this draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's really not that ground and pound, pass pro, that thunder type running backs, besides like a Keandre Miller, you got your Tank Bigsby, some of those guys. But every time I look at another running back, I'm like, Tony Pollard. That reminds me of Tony Pollard. He does a lot of Tony Pollard, whether it's Devon A-Chain, Keaton Mitchell, Ty Spears, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's my whole thing. JT, what's going on with you? Oh, what happened? Oh, no. Hold on, we still live? The party was so lit, it just kicked everybody out. Hold on. Let's see here. We still live. We still good. Hold on. Got to jump back on. Let's see. All right, man. That's what happens, man. We was having such a good time, man. I said, hold on. Hey, and y'all know, like, back when y'all used to have like house parties as kids, man, you used to have a good time, and then you get the police sirens, and what I'm saying, shut the party down. But the party is not going, man. We just gonna turn the music down just a little bit and keep things fired up. So let me get my school back in. Let's see. You back on, bro?
I had to go buy a ticket.
I didn't know. I didn't know what happened
over the year. That's why I'm glad over the times I built my credit up on when JJAANN give you those credits.
See? So what does me that happened to?
Yeah, I had to buy a ticket.
Okay.
What is this?
I didn't know. I thought they shut the party down, man. All right.
Like,
I'm gonna give y'all a tip though. If they ever ask, that's why every day, even if you're not gonna watch JJAANN, get on JJJAANN.
Okay.
So that way, if that ever do happens, you build up your coins every day. JJJAANN, they give you some coins and stuff for just entering the app. So do that every day.
Yeah, listen to him. Listen to him. I had no idea what the hell happened. So,
you'll be back in.
I didn't know what the hell happened. I was like, we was cooking, man. See if we can get Coach Marv in there, man. But JT, my guy, man, what's going on with you, bro?
What's up, my dude?
No, man.
JT.
No, man, chilling, man. So we've been talking about wide receiver a little bit at 26. So what would be your thoughts if the Cowboys drafted a wide receiver at 26?
I wouldn't take a wide receiver at the 26 spot.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah. Not. Yeah.
Why? Okay. Because it's really nobody worth that 26 pick at the wide receiver spot. The only one would be is that boy from Ohio State,
Jackson Smith. That seems like a consensus favorite, man. Everybody loves Jackson Smith, right?
I love that guy.
He the only one that is a first round value. Everybody else second and third round.
I love him. I love the kid, but whenever I see Cowboys wide receiver hamstrings, it's just let's freak out a little bit.
I'm still sold on my boy Jahmyr Gibbs at 26.
But not at 26. Not at 26.
I got to have him. He late first, early second.
Yeah.
And we don't get him, Philly gonna get him, and you already know. Philly picked at 30.
Do you think it's a lot of good cornerbacks on the board for us to either go cornerback, or do you think it's a lot of edge rushers so that way we can move Parsons around to go edge rushers so that we can move Parsons, and Parsons can be that chess piece that he was when he first came in the league, because like I said, I'm a Bama guy, and I look at Will Anderson too, and all people I want to say, oh well, Will Anderson, it's a whole lot of Alabama players that did not go top, did not go the first round. Quote, Derrick Henry did not, Jalen Hurts, even though he left and went to Oklahoma, and still can get it done for the Eagles, North Oklahoma. But it's a lot of those guys who don't go first that we may think go first because the scouts go off what they do like in the combine and all that stuff. So I'm with you with Jahmyr, but I'm not with you with Jahmyr because like I said, I want our defense to get better. As far as us moving Parsons around, because like I said, we get Will Anderson, he's a good edge rusher. We've seen it, even with Hutchinson, dude from Michigan who got drafted last year, he was a good, linebacker. So I'm just looking to see, what we can do with our defense. Offense kind of tricky because you got a lot of good guys coming in this draft that can be put on offense no matter where you draft.
I'm gonna say this right here. Our defense already became solid when we added in Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
He already done made our secondary already complete. Already.
Not too complete because you don't have to need another.
But that's why in the later rounds we're adding our depth pieces to what we got. We can find a corner that's gonna give us nickel, dime packages. We can find that in the later rounds.
Right.
The reason why I say Jahmyr Gibbs because I seen the boy tape. This boy is something special. Just like Pollard. When we drafted Tony Pollard, Jahmyr Gibbs got that same kind of speed.
Right.
And the boy is fast. I can't let Philly get him. Because if Philly get him at 30, we're in trouble.
So let me ask y'all this, right? So let's say, for instance, the Cowboys do want to go running back, right? Whether that's Bijan or is it Gibbs. Would y'all prefer to get Gibbs at 26, which I think you're going to have to, just to get the 5th-year option on the contract? Versus getting a running back in the second round. So, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. I just don't see the Cowboys doing that because, like Coach Marv was just saying, if you go get Gibbs at 26, then that franchise tag for Pollard, you might as well just rescind that because it's just like, you know what I'm saying? You paying that boy top dollar for 1 year, like you're going to want Gibbs out there, and the fan base is going to demand it. Go ahead, Coach Marv. What was you going to say, bro?
I understand why the Gibbs. I understand we got wide receiver. I think the Cowboys just got us so full because they want to talk about, they want to push things that we're going to be excited about.
Yeah.
But let's really look at this offensive line, and I'm not even talking about the offensive line is bad.
Right.
Got to be fixed. Tyron Smith signed a incentive later deal, 1-year deal. if he was going to be there for more than 1 year, if he thought his career was going to go more than 1 year, they would have just extended his contract and dropped his salary down anyway.
Okay.
That's all they had to do.
Good point.
But they signed him to a whole new contract, a simulated deal for a 1 year deal. This tells me already that Tyrann is at the end of his door, and this might be his last year.
I can
look
see
how
that.
much he get hurt, coach.
Yeah. Right?
It's like,
Right. Okay.
You can never have him for a full year. Never.
Tyrann is at the end of his last year. Your center is a free agent next year. And we cannot continue to think Zach Martin is going to play for 14 or 15 more years.
Yeah, Zach already said his wife didn't try to pull the plug
now. If you don't address it now, when are you going to address it when you may be losing two guys that's the stalwart of your offensive line? Plus, you got Steele coming back. Listen, plus you got Steele coming back. They think he's going to be ready. I don't think the Cowboys want to make the same mistake that they made with Gallup. They like this 7 to 8, 9 month new thing with these ACLs, but I think they're going to try to extend that a little bit to go to the 10 to 11 month with Steele, because they don't want to rush him back and then have less production out of him right off the bat. But we still don't know how players come back off an injury, because this might be his first major injury. You have a chance now with your team being game ready right now. If we play right now, we can have a team on the field. Right. That you can get a quality offensive line to actually have your offensive line rebuilt already, and then you may add one more piece next year, or you get one of these guys coming up. The other positions, this wide receiver position, all that other stuff, the Cowboys are looking, when you have a team like this, the Cowboys are looking to solidify themselves. And remember what Mike McCarthy said it was interesting. He said that about our injuries. We played with a lot of different offensive linemen last year. And the Cowboys said that they're going to go into this year, you could tell by what they have done, that they're going to say, hey, we're trying to solidify this offensive line so we can be injury protected, offensive line wise. Okay. Now you bring a guy in, now it's going to either be a guard or a tackle, because you got one position of guard you don't have solidified, and you got a 13-year veteran on the other side. We don't even look at this. Zach Martin contract is up. There's no more years to push his contract out. He has used all the voided years. His next year, his salary cap is $23 million. This is what I just said to you. His next year, his cap hit is $23 million with no more room to push it out. So there's a decision on Zach Martin next year.
Ain't no decision. Sign it. He signed Zach Martin. Bring him back.
Sign it. I'm gonna say this.
He's not listening.
Go ahead, JT.
I think you sign him, but just spread him out long enough. I don't think Zach is in this for being his 15, 16 years.
Yeah, and he's already mentioned that
so
his wife
is
he said,
okay, I'll give you another year or two. You ain't got enough room to spread it out to make it fit.
Right.
So, Coach Marv, do you go draft somebody for the O-line first round? Or?
I think they're gonna do the same. They got lucky. I mean, not lucky, but they turned out well where they did the same thing. They did the same philosophy with the three best offensive linemen they got right now. They did that philosophy back with Tyrann when they drafted him as a left tackle, and they put him at right at first. They did that with Zach Martin when they drafted Zach Martin. He was playing tackle at Notre Dame, and they drafted him and put him in guard, and he became a Hall of Fame at guard. They did that with Tyler Smith when they drafted a tackle, but they said that he could play guard because they were going to announce him as a guard, because when you watch the draft show, when they was in the war room, they didn't know whether they were going to announce him as a tackle or a guard.
Right.
So they're going to try to find that hybrid guy, right, that may be a tackle, but they make him put him at guard for 1 year.
So go ahead, JT.
Go ahead, JT. My question is there anybody worth or the offensive line position at that 26, that number 26? By the time we pick all the good offensive linemen are going to be off the board.
There should be a few, but it depends on what
not first round talent though.
Yeah, absolutely.
First round.
Yeah,
This is why it might be somebody out there, right?
Yeah. This going to be a few.
Right?
So you're going to have Peter Skoronski. You're going to have Paris Johnson, which they're gone. They're not going to be there. But then you have the conversation. They're gone. So there's going to be a conversation of Broderick Jones. You're going to have Anton Harrison. And then you're going to have Darnell Wright, kind of your tackles. And then I would say the guard, maybe Osiris might be the first guard, quote unquote, guard off the board. And then it's Steve Avila. So it's just like, you know, I feel like if you want to go tackle, it's going to be there. But I think the hard part with the Cowboys, just for me, right, is like, what are we considering Tyler Smith as? Is he the guard of the future or the tackle of the future? Because I just don't think that the Cowboys are going to give up on Matt Waletzko once he comes back, y'all. Because remember, he was Tyron's backup left tackle before he tore his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they're going to want to see what value they got in him. So he's going to be in the mix, but he's a tackle. He can't play guard. So
let me ask you a question.
I think they really want Waletzko. And I think that what you talking about there, you're in a good spot. If Waletzko be your swing, become your permanent swing, you're okay.
Right.
So if he's good, he become your permanent swing. But what you see what the Cowboys are doing, they're trying to make their situation for tackle be there by pushing all this thing about receivers and running backs. So hopefully to get some of those guys drafted early.
Yeah, like I said,
that's what you do. You push so somebody can say, well, he won't be around the 26th or early second round because the Cowboys looking at him at the end of the round. You just need 2 or 3 guys to get drafted earlier that'll push some of those guys that you want down the list.
And I feel like that it's going to happen.
Was not even a 30 visit for us.
And it's going to happen this year's. It's going to happen this year's draft, y'all, because the separation between a lot of these prospects, I mean, hell, even the quarterback, is paper thin. Somebody's going to reach on somebody is going to send this board into a frenzy. So let's say, for instance, we have, I don't know, Jackson Smith, he goes 12 or something like that, okay? And then boom, the next wide receiver off the board might be Jalen Hyatt or something crazy like that. Everything is just going to fall and kind of just go crazy. So I feel like the same thing with the offensive tackles and offensive guards. If somebody kind of reaches and you kind of hear a name that you wasn't considering being a first round talent, let's say Steve Avila goes the first guard off the board, right? Then you might be sitting in a situation where you might have a Broderick Jones who could be your starting right tackle of the future sitting right there in front of your face, and you just grab and go and kind of move on from there. So it's going to be a fun draft. The Cowboys are in a good situation. Go ahead, Scoop.
Also think about this: you can trade up,
right?
Hey, I mean, I seen people do crazy things.
Just
to trade up with people.
I give you the scenario with the trade up. Let me give you the scenario with the trade up.
Go ahead, Coach.
The story that came out. Remember this with Cowboys now. When they release a story or some word that they said one time in one article, they don't talk about it no more. Believe that's something they really working on. Mm-hmm. They ain't trying to push that. So the story that I put out there on Twitter a while ago, I mean about a couple of weeks ago, when they were talking about trying to get rid of Dorrance Armstrong to the Atlanta Falcons for the 75 pick, is still probably cooking. Mm-hmm. Because if you can get that third round 75 pick for Dorrance Armstrong, because you're not going to sign him next year.
Right.
You're going to let him go. So you can get an earlier pick. You can get a pick better than the comp pick you're going to get. Mm-hmm. You get save $7 million on the salary cap, which that money could go probably sign Steele to a longer deal. Mm-hmm. Or you get that draft capital, which give you another third round pick. So if you do want to go up, you still don't hurt yourself because you can add that pick in to get yourself up a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's a key piece, because they're not really they want to get more snaps for Fowler and Williams. Right. And he's sitting in the way, and you know you're not going to sign him next year. Right. So if Atlanta wants to jump on a $7 million deep end that had 8.5 sacks, which they probably may. Right. And if they want to come up off a late third round pick, that gives us room to say, hey, now we got a piece where we got an asset where if we do want to move, we got some of value that we could push.
So you move 26 and 75 and move up to maybe like 20-ish?
There you go.
Can I say this real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
On the as far as like the board and how it falls, we already know the Patriots are going to take someone that probably shouldn't even go in the first.
All right.
They do it every year.
Right.
I mean, who they take a couple years ago? I can't remember
Matt Jones.
No, the tackle.
They took my guy Cole Strange last year out of Chattanooga.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, who knows, man? Like everybody that thinks, they keep saying this guy won't be here. This guy won't be here. It's like only 25 guys can go before us. Like,
right.
These guys can't go before us.
Well, really, it's only 24 guys go
because they don't have that pick.
We got the
25th
pick because one of the picks is lost.
That's
right.
That's true. So yeah, exactly. Exactly my point.
So it's going to be a lot of opportunity.
I want to ask a question for y'all. It's for everybody. I had said this, and it's just referring back to the defense.
Mm-hmm.
I said that I hate we released Randall Gregory, or Randy, whatever you want to call him, Macho Man Randy. But I mean, it was good too. But I just felt like, when we released him, that just automatically put Michael Parsons at the edge, and that's why I'm so hyped on getting another edge rusher. Who, if you had to choose one, who would y'all choose to be his edge rusher?
Well, JT, I'll go with you. JT, I'll kick it over to you. So, what's your thoughts on going to the edge in the first round, 26? I don't know if you can hear me. You hear me, JT?
I'm telling you who my edge is.
All right. Edge?
Yeah, edge. If you had to go edge rusher.
I don't see nobody at 26. I told you, this draft right here.
If Will don't get picked up, I see Will at 26.
I don't see edge.
Will McDonald.
Going
no, Will Anderson.
Second and third.
The
only edge rusher that really gonna go is that boy Will Anderson.
Will Anderson.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
that's the only one that probably gonna go.
So we got Will Anderson. We got McDonald. Go ahead, Coach Mara.
BJ is my guy.
BJ Ojolari.
BJ too.
I like BJ Ojolari.
That guy got some.
Yeah, man. So here,
but he got a dog in him.
So here's what I'm thinking at edge, right? There's a few, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a few guys you can get. And I think you could probably get them at 58. I think Will McDonald, he's shooting up like crazy, y'all. Like he was kind of like my little sleeper, little cat pick. I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? That's probably out the picture. And then Dan Quinn kind of showed his hand by going to his pro day. So Will McDonald might be out. You have Felix Anundike out of Kansas State, who I like, but he's kind of more like Dorrance Armstrong. So it's not really a difference, a type of speed. But I don't know, y'all. I've been saying on Twitter, if I had the opportunity and Drew Sanders out of Arkansas is sitting right there, he's just high motor. He's just high motor, and he can take a lot of that pressure.
You give me to grow on that. You give me to grow on. Grow on him.
Yeah, man. Because
and I'm gonna tell you why I'm really growing on him. And I hate to say it this way, but I'm just being real. I think he's their type of guy that they would love to him. And Quinn loves that type of versatile player.
Yeah,
because he can use him as a rush.
Right.
As a rush guy. I just don't even know why Quinn keeps playing around with the 4-3. I don't know why he's just gonna go to
3-4. Right, yeah, exactly.
Because his team is set up
for 3-4
to be a 3-4 team.
Right. It really is.
So I don't know why he keeps playing around with it. But I think that's that versatility as a player.
He knows when you fuck with his
it's good.
And I think Scoob, you might want to mute yourself, man. Scoob might want to mute yourself.
But I do want to say this, man. I want to see if y'all can push something with me, man. I was trying to get. I wish I could get in touch with Michael Parsons, because one thing I feel about Michael Parsons, I think a lot of people want to pigeonhole him to certain things, but he's a generational player.
Yep.
And sometimes, as I learned, when you have very good players that are young, that you have to motivate them with excellence and push them. I think Michael Parsons could be the first 125, 130 tackle, 18 sack, 3 interception guy that's ever been in the NFL. Nobody's had that type of stats in the NFL history. But that's not going to be, he's not going to do that defensive end playing 70-80% of defensive end.
Right.
But he can get those 18 sacks if he plays that hybrid position.
Right.
Because what's the linebacker out of Tampa Bay got 9 sacks in the middle.
Yeah, Devin White.
Just blitzing from the middle. So I know Parsons could get 12 coming from the middle.
And that's one of his strongest rush points is also in the A gaps, in A and B gaps in the interior. So it's like, that's why I'm kind of a fan coach of Drew Sanders, because now you got 2 chess pieces. I can move Michael over here. I can move Drew over here. And Drew is more built to be an edge rusher because he was an edge rusher coming out of Alabama. That's the only position he played.
He looked like an edge rusher.
So he can take on that punishment because the jig is up with Micah. All right, cool. You're going to play him off this edge where I'm going to double team him to death. I'm going to chip him. I'm going to do all to kind of diminish him.
You can eliminate him. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you can take an edge rusher out the game.
Take him out the game. Right.
Yeah, you could eliminate his effect. Right. When I say about generational, when you have great players like that, you want them to affect more offensive plays than just a few.
Right.
So I want Michael Parsons to affect 80% of the offensive plays that a team runs.
Right.
Not just the pass downs.
Right.
Because we double team him or run away from him, we taking a guy that's dominant away, but moving him around and making you adjust. And I'm gonna tell you something about offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Martin said it in training camp. I was watching training camp, and it was after a practice, and Zach Martin, I think Michael got a couple of sacks from the linebacker position, and Zach Martin said, man, when they move him around, it's hard to, he said, it confuses us to set up our blocking schemes of where who gonna take him, because if you mess around and get a running back locked on him, that's a loss. If you get a guard in space on him, that might be a loss. A center can't stand to block him. So when you move him around, you make him more effective than to sit him out there on the defensive end and say, go get the pass.
Exactly, because I mean, and I'll go over this, y'all, when we go outside the draft, right? When we kind of go through the technicals of football, but like in some slide protections, right? Only half of the slide, like the right side, right? They might be zone, but your left side might be man. So if you already make your calls and you're zone the right side, and all of a sudden Micah comes over here, you have to shift your protection and change things versus just knowing he's going to be on the right side every time. So just by doing that, whether he's the Will or the Mike or even the Strong or the Sam, you have to know where he's at all the time. And with a caliber player like that, you have to slide protect wherever he is at, which is going to create favorable matchups, whether that's for D-Law or whoever the other edge rusher is, Sam Williams. So that's the beauty of Micah Parsons. But when he's just off the edge, it's like, okay, we're going to slide right. You know what I'm saying? We're going to slide right.
Hey, Tuck, what about Tyree Wilson? You know, that from out of
Texas Tech.
Out of Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech. So I like Tyree Wilson. He's gonna be way.
That boy 6'6".
He gonna be way too early. Like the only other, I would say, quote unquote edge rushers kind of that first tier that might be available is Miles Murphy out of Clemson, and I'm just not too high on Miles Murphy. Like
I don't like Miles.
Yeah. So it's like he's the only guy that could slide. So you got Miles Murphy that could slide a little bit to 26. You got Brian Breesy that can slide. Lucas Van Ness. Oh, absolutely not. I feel like Lucas Van Ness, bro, that's going to be the one pick where I'm just going to storm up out that media room like I'm done for the day. Like I'm just not a fan of Lucas Van Ness. Like I don't see it. Besides, he's built like a Dragon Ball Z character, but from football, it ain't nothing there. You know what I'm saying? He's a workout warrior. I give it to him, and I'm in the gym trying to get like you, Lucas. But on the football field, all that don't add up. So, I feel like Miles Murphy, he could be within range, but I'm just not a fan of him, or Brian Breesy. Now, I do like defensive tackle Kalijah Kancey, and I did a film session on him. He's just high motor, and I feel like even though he's a little bit shorter, like if you get that interior pressure like Coach Marv was talking about, that pocket collapse is going to be a lot more favorable for the edge rushers to kind of do their thing. So
I got the fix for that. So
what's that?
You just got Osa can't pay 54% of the snaps.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
You only pay 54%.
Yeah,
I cannot let him play 54%.
I think Gallimore might be up, and I'm sure we're gonna do with Gallimore. Right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but
man, Osa put up some great. If you watch film of Osa, he is one person not blocking Osa.
Right.
And listen, for 8 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, he was second on the team in tackles for a defensive lineman at almost 50 tackles. Mm-hmm. He did all this with 54%.
Right. Yeah.
Of snaps.
Yeah.
Hey, my cousin.
That's all he had.
He said, what do y'all think about? Because he's from Tennessee. So you already know what he said. What do y'all think about Hyatt? And I just texted him. I said, that man ain't do nothing but make his name off Alabama.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say this when it comes to Hyatt, because I did the film session on Hyatt too. He's a one-trick pony, but man, it's one hell of a trick. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people are like, bro, Jalin Hyatt. I'm like, he makes corners bail out so damn hard out of the stands because of that speed. And it's like the Cowboys have really never had that. You know what I'm saying? So it would be fun and exciting. I mean, I don't think the Cowboys would do it. I think another team's going to do it.
I know Hyatt. You know.
Hey, Tuck. Yeah. Hey, Tuck. I'm gonna say this, Tuck, and I'm gonna get off.
All right, appreciate it.
I want to see more Sam Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I do need more of him because we get him out there more.
Right.
And then we draft Michael Parsons 3.0. And you know who I'm talking about? Trenton
Simpson. Yeah.
And we get that boy up.
Yeah.
That's Michael Parsons running me.
So Simpson's high wire, man. Simpson's high wire. And me personally, I want more speed at the linebacker position.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I like that.
I feel like even though we got LVE back, so there's a few.
It'd be fair game.
Yeah.
But Jalin Hyatt, if we can hang out to the third round, he'd be the icing on the cake.
But see, the thing about Hyatt, man, like we had a burner last year in Turpin that we didn't even, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just don't.
I hated that.
You know.
It'd be lethal.
So I mean,
let
I like.
Let me give you my points on Jalin Hyatt. I've been watching Jalin Hyatt since he was in 9th grade. He's from Columbia, South Carolina. Played on an outstanding football team that won state championship every year he was here. Right, so their team was awesome. Very well coached.
He got height too.
Yeah. Now, when he came out of high school, Clemson didn't offer him. South Carolina did offer him. So he went to Tennessee. Right, he was all state, everything. Now that's why I knew that the 4-2 thing that they were talking about. Unless he really improved while he was in college, he was never no 4-2 guy. But you have to understand this. He's not the most physical guy, and if you want to watch tape, I always tell people to watch the South Carolina game when he played South Carolina against two cornerbacks that was from, both of them were home, all of them was homegrown guys, so there was an internal rivalry there. Plus, those guys are going to the NFL.
Was that Cam Smith? 5
catches for 50 yards, no touchdowns.
Yeah.
Didn't run away because these guys got up in his face and they played physical with him.
And that's the thing about Hyatt too, is that spread offense. You know what I'm saying? Because like Coach Morris said,
product of the offense.
Yeah, because that spread offense.
That's a product of the offense. Yeah. Because when they didn't have Hyatt, when they went to the bowl game, they still put up a lot of points. That's the same problem I had with Hooker.
Right.
With him too at quarterback. That's a product of the offense because it interchanges and they run the plays every 15 seconds. So a lot of this stuff is when you run, Chuck, you know about this. When you run that fast-paced offense, they're not calling different plays. They're calling the same play and doing two different things of it. So it's really not a complicated
you damn straight run no option routes, Coach.
It's like we gonna run a play, same play, just do this different.
Right.
So it's not really complicated.
Right.
And if you look at them, I just don't. I think he's the second or third round, good. Nothing up high. And then I think what McCarthy's gonna do that we didn't do in the past, I think he's gonna fit what piece of the offense he wants the player to do by the person's skill set.
Right.
And not let them do nothing else.
Right.
So if he's a one-trick pony by going deep,
you're gonna do that.
That's
what's
gonna be his job.
Right.
And you're probably gonna get the best out of him if you put him in what he does well and then build off of that. But all he gonna do is what he did. That's what Quinn did with Sam Williams.
Right.
He didn't ask Sam Williams to do a whole lot.
Right.
He asked Sam Williams to do what he does best.
Right.
And then we'll start growing you.
Right.
So if Hyatt comes in, we can do the same thing with him.
And that's a good point. That's a good point, Coach, because not a lot of people remember that, right? Remember when we had Mike Nolan as our defensive coordinator? He had so much complicated scheme that the players were damn near tripping over their feet. Dan Quinn came and said, you know what? I'm not going to complicate things. Michael Parsons, just go get the quarterback. right? Like he simplified his approach, and I feel like Mike McCarthy's going to do that. So you might see a jump in like a Jalen Tolbert. It was like, all right, just go play football. You are a deep threat, go over the top guy, big catch radius. Go be that. Go be that. Everything else we'll fix later. So I hope that Mike McCarthy really translate that with this West Coast approach, because a lot of it's going to be quick throws, get the ball out in space, and go use your God-given ability. So I think that's going to change a little bit, man.
Well, Yak is a problem. Yak is our problem on offense.
Right.
Chuck, y'all know our team, our Cowboy team was almost butt naked last in the NFL with Yak yards.
Mm-hmm. And Cowboys fans got the nerve to turn up their nose at Quentin Johnson.
Basically off in the air.
Right.
He was almost late. And West Coast offense and Mike McCarthy, Kyle Shanahan. I mean, not Kyle Shanahan, but Schottenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense lives off yak yards.
Right.
That's the one improvement that we have, because think about it. CeeDee Lamb came in this league because he was a good what?
Yak guy.
Yak yard guy.
Mm-hmm.
But Tolbert came in here. What was his big quality when he came here? Yak yard.
Right.
So you put and then you got the 4-2 guy. He's all yak yard.
Right.
If you take the yak yards away from them, you make them ordinary receivers, and you not with their skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Their skill set is not catching the ball with their back turned to the goalpost. It's catching the ball on the run, crossing where they can get yak yards.
Mm-hmm.
That'll make Dak Prescott stats look a lot better if you catching the ball 15 yards and running for 30 yards on the catch.
Right.
So,
but I mean, if you look at, I feel like it'll change this year though, Coach Mar, because you look at the stupid stuff that me and you repeatedly told Law about Kellen Moore and his style of offense. Like why would you throw a deep ball start of the game on first down? Who does that? Start of the game, you want to throw the ball deep. I looked at him and I just turned the TV off.
Well, but I think that McCarthy is going to do some things, and I think this draft is going to show what he's really looking. How to put. I've always said, now y'all everybody. Tuck brought it up good last year with the no identity offense. Tuck, you may have to come up with a name, but this offense, this team is going to be whatever name we can come from, the Seattle Green Bay mix of 2009 between 2009 to 2014, because those two teams, McCarthy and Quinn battled each other, and Green Bay and Seattle had some epic battles in that time of championship games. And Schottenheimer was part of that. This is when you're going to see a mixture of the two together that says, hey, we had great success for a 5-year period between us. Now we come together. We're going to put these same philosophies together, and we're going to have this same mixture. You're going to see a offense that's going to be constructed to Russell Wilson's most productive years. And that was not vanilla, but it was not wasted passes. It wasn't throwing the ball 45 times and throwing the ball less than 7 yards a pass. It was throwing the ball 28 times, but going down the field with 10 passes.
Yeah, it's all about playing with the intention. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? So
it's gonna be and ball control and letting the defense cook and set us up for easy scores. And then instead of us have to work so hard, but put pressure on the other team to play into our defense and let our defense set us up for easy scores. So this is going to be a mixture between those two, and it would be smart. And so I think this draft, you're going to start to see the draft as they've been doing the last couple of years, tell you what direction they're going. But they had to solidify a football team first. Before they go in the draft. And I really believe this draft is going to be different than any other draft, y'all, because I think we're going to do some wheeling and dealing in this draft. I just got a strange feeling.
I think they're going to be more aggressive too.
We got some wheeling and dealing going on coming up, because we did different in free agency. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to highlight some players, and we may wheel and deal. Instead of taking 6 picks, we might come out here with 5 or 4 picks. and have 4 very good quality guys,
right?
And then ask Will McClay to go into the undrafted free agent market
and do some
get
work there.
Some other guy.
Yeah, I agree, because think about it. The Cowboys last few years, bro. I keep joking like we ain't gonna use all these picks. They use every damn pick they got. So they damn near use 9 picks, right? And then what happens? They move on from from a Ridgeway. So they actually lose players they drafted. So it's like you don't need to be 6th round, 7th round just hoarding picks with 3 7th round picks. They're probably not going to make the team. So if you have a good 3 guys, you say, you know what? These are the guys I need to really turn this team around. Then you just will and deal, go get those 3 and get up out of there. Like there's no need to hoard all these picks and try to play for the comp years when you lose them in 4 to 5 years down the road. It just doesn't make sense to me, man. But I appreciate you guys for jumping on, man. We'll keep rocking. Y'all got time? We can keep rocking, man. That's what I make sure.
Yeah, man.
Okay, cool.
I got time.
All right, cool.
Komar, you got time?
Yeah, I got a couple more.
Chase, you got time? Yeah, we'll rock for another 10 minutes, man. Salute to everyone in the chat, man. I'm gonna read a few of these questions we got here. They've been flowing in the chat. Says JSN can play on the outside. They just use him in the slot. If he's there at 26, he's easily the best player available. Yeah, I agree. If Jackson Smith is there, you pull it there. Let's see here. What else we got? Let's see here. Micah and Drew can rotate the positions on the edge. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, keep the questions coming, y'all. Man, like I said, we're gonna kick it for like another 10 minutes or so. I don't want to keep y'all too long. So let me ask y'all.
Let's talk about this tight end. You're a tight end.
Yeah, all right, let's do it, man. Because people have been mad at me on Twitter, man.
You're a tight end guy.
Yes, go ahead.
You might have seen. I got a guy that I really like. That he may get drafted earlier if he's still around in the later rounds. Zach Kluntz from Old
Dominion. So here's the thing.
He went to Penn State,
right?
But he got caught behind Strange, so he left.
Yeah.
When he first got to ODU, he was the focal point of the offense. Then he got hurt.
Yep.
So he was out. But listen, you can't beat this guy. Graded out of the compound is one of the best grades for any player in combine history.
Yep.
At 6'7", 4'5", 40.
Yeah.
40-inch vertical.
Yeah. And that's what I've been trying to tell people, but people don't want to hear it because it's like, damn, Tuck. I'm like, but listen, man, if you're able on day 2 or day 3, because he did have the knee injury at Old Dominion last year, but like you said, Coach, based on the combine, he bounced back from it and looked well. A 6'7" prospect that can stretch the field, got hands, soft hands, that can do a lot. He's pretty much like a 6'7" wide receiver. Why not take a flight on that? So I definitely love Kuntz, man, out of Old Dominion. I think a lot of people want to go back to the Penn State. Like, he didn't do anything. Like, bro, like, he's still a freakish athlete. So it's like, when it comes to the tight end position, and a lot of people got mad at me because I did this mock draft, and honestly, it was kind of fire to me. It was fire to me. But here's what I've been saying. If the Cowboys feel like, listen, the one thing we need on this offense is someone that can really stretch the seams. Like, granted, I like Ferguson, I like Hendershot, but if you want a guy that can really go out there and stretch the seams and kind of fit this new age Travis Kelce hybrid wide receiver that can play X and do all different things, and they go with Dalton Kincaid, I'm not a fan of it, but I do understand it. You see what I'm saying? Because Dalton Kincaid, like you said, Coach, he's pretty much one of your taller wide receivers that has speed, that can go over the top, and he can really create a mismatch underneath. And if the Cowboys feel like that's the one thing to put their offense over the top, I'm fully a fan of it. Now, I would kind of sit, me personally, because I like Sam Laporta out of Iowa. I feel like he's the most balanced wide or tight end in this year's class. Also with Michael Mayer as well. But I feel like the Michael Mayer, Sam Laporta's, I feel like that's Jake Ferguson. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Dalton Kincaid, he's something different, something we don't have. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, he's essentially, if you think of him as a wide receiver, he's pretty much that. So, that's why I was going tight end.
There is one other guy that could be an option at 26 at tight end. That is something we don't have.
Darnell Washington?
Darnell Washington.
Yeah, so Darnell Washington, he kind of fixes two things. He fixes our offensive line and he gets us some extra tight ends. So it's like he's two birds with one stone.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's like,
Yeah, he gives you blocking, but he doesn't give you that I don't think his pass catching ability. But I love him. If he's he's the best tight end that I would pick. I'm just talking about Kluntz because if everybody passes on, if they pass on tight end and they're still looking for that athletic guy, right, that could do those things,
right.
I'm going to take a flyer on a guy 6'7" and run a 4.5 40. They could jump 40 got a 40-inch vertical.
Just from a red zone threat. Just from a red zone threat. You know what I'm saying? You can just put them out there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's little things like that. So we can. Yeah, I like Kuntz, man. I think I'm gonna drop him too, because like a lot of people get pissed at me, Coach, when I start talking tight ends. They don't want to hear all that noise.
Well, listen, tight ends. I always tell people this. Tight ends. This is why tight ends should get respect. Tight ends are probably the biggest matchup problem that you can have on a defense.
Right.
Because one, they're bigger than defensive backs.
Right.
Most times they're quicker than linebackers.
Right.
Right. And if you look back in the history of football, most great offenses got great tight ends.
Right, got great tight ends. Like, yeah, like that's what people don't understand. So like that's why I'm keep saying, like, I love Jake Ferguson. I even like Hendershot. But if because like I said, Mike McCarthy and Kyle Uman said this last year, like in the draft room, he was standing up on the desk excited. He already had the card ready for Trey McBride, who was my favorite tight end in last year's class. He got sniped to pick right before us, and we didn't get him. So it let me know that, okay, Mike McCarthy is really wanting a tight end.
You know who else they wanted to, Chuck?
Who's that?
They had their eye on, and he got snatched up right before they got Ferguson, also the guy that came out of Virginia. Because they went to that.
Jelani Woods.
They went there. Yeah. They went and looked at him personally,
right?
Because he had that type of athletic, crazy type ability that they were looking for.
Right.
Now, see, listen, I like what the Cowboys doing, you know, because we're not making the same mistakes we did before.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know I'm gonna get shanked with a butter knife when I say this. I love Jason Wood.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
But we let tight end get out of here. Marcel
Bennett.
We let Bennett get out of here, and he went on to be Pro Bowl and just dominating big plays.
Right.
But when he was with Jason Witten, he couldn't even get on the field.
Right.
He was that explosive guy. We let him go because Jason Witten wouldn't. They went. So Bennett went on to Chicago and did some big things.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think Ferguson, and let's don't sleep. I just don't think Ferguson was given an opportunity,
right? Because
to
Schultz
do some of the things he could do, and Hendershot to do some things that he could do. Because Schultz been here for 3-4 years. I never see him run a real route and get a touchdown play.
Right.
Hendershot does this on what? On the 11 targets he got this year, and he runs a real route and catches a deep pass.
And they slow down the progress.
That they saw that these guys got the capabilities. I don't think they're giving up on those guys.
Right.
But I think if they can find that tight end that can give them, if they can find that Kelsey,
right,
because that's what everybody's looking for, that dynamic tight end, they'll try to find that in one of these players, but I don't think they're gonna go all the way up in 26 to get it.
Yeah.
Because I believe that they can find that guy later on, because it's 2 or 3 guys, maybe 4 guys that might turn out to be a Kelsey type player.
Right.
In this
they
draft.
kind of fit that mold.
Chuck, what round did Kelsey go in? Like what? 4th round? 3rd round? 4th round when he went in the draft?
he converted from Kelsey was a quarterback.
Yeah.
He converted from being a quarterback to being a tight end.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Anything, like we got it. Like I mean, I would love Darnell Washington at 26 or whenever, but like we got to think like Ferguson's a 4th round tight end. Like there's still something there, man. There's still something there.
Yeah.
I really want to see him get.
Gronkowski was drafted in the 3rd or 4th round itself.
Who was that?
A lot of
Gronkowski was drafted.
A lot of them. I mean, the only first, and everyone tried to get me on it, but the only 1st round tight end that really turned out the gate was Kyle Pitts. But he's different. He's different, Cole. He was, you know what I'm saying? He's a little bit different. Kyle Pitts was different, man.
Hey, I want to ask you something. I want to ask y'all something. And this ain't even about tight ends, and I love tight ends too, but. When it come to me talking about tight ends, I just like to see what they gonna do, during the draft, because that's when I get excited when they draft tight ends in the draft. But I want to ask y'all, do y'all miss Dak running?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
But you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it a lot more because there's gonna be the mixture of.
Well, I'll say this.
I'm glad you
I do and I don't. because when he do it, my heart skip. You know what I'm saying? My heart skips a little bit, but I would like to see a little bit more because that's Dak Prescott. Like before the injury, Dak being able to use his legs, like it opens up our offense. And I feel like,
and we saw that a lot towards the end of last year.
Right, and that was my biggest knock for him in the San Francisco game. It's like, bro, you lost Tony Pollard, offense wasn't clicking. I would just like to see Dak say, you know what, I'm just gonna take off. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take off.
You're gonna see Dak run the ball with more than Kyle Shanahan's. Not Shanahan, but with Schottenheimer offense. Yeah. And listen, I think we forget when Aaron Rodgers was back in the day when he was in his heyday with
he would take
McCarthy.
off. Oh yeah,
his legs was one of his
we know
valuable things outside the pocket and going. So you're gonna see what I think they're gonna do is Dak is gonna listen. This is Dak's skill set. Again, I go back to what I'm saying. If you start moving players away from their skill set, right? Then you have more chance for them to start to look bad. We're not asking Dak to be back in his Mississippi State. We're not asking him to be a running quarterback, but his asset was to getting out the pocket and using his legs and being a weapon in those things.
Right.
This offense I don't mind him to do more of those things when the player's not there.
Right.
Get out the pocket, use your legs, but I think this offense is also going to put on him to say you can do it and be safe. You can't run over people.
Yeah,
when you get your yards, get on the ground.
Down. Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's what I was just going to say. I don't mind him getting a first down from a
run with the purpose.
Run with the purpose.
But running with the purpose and understand that you're a quarterback. You're not built like those running backs who can just.
I mean, but he is though. That's the problem.
But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is like a Derrick Henry or somebody who's built to just, I'm just finna run through you and no issue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you still got to cater to that leg. So I mean, when I used to watch, like I said, I'm more of an SEC guy, and then I watch all the other people later. You know, it just depends on who playing out of the SEC. But when I used to watch him from Mississippi State, like I said, Bama fan here. And I used to watch him when he played against Bama. Dak Prescott showed me something, and he showed me something with his legs. His throwing ability wasn't all that until about his last year, but it was mostly his legs that caused him to be a threat that year. So, I mean, I look at it, I like when he run, like you said. This year, I was holding my breath because I was like, oh, no, I don't want to get hurt. But then, it was a horse collar, so I mean, a lot of players go down from that. I mean, I think Shannon Sharp even said that he went down from that.
Right.
But I like that. But one thing I want to tell to these Cowboy fans and Coach Mark, me and him been saying it for the longest. It's not a Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is not everywhere on the field. He's not the running back. He's not the O-line. He's not the receivers. Let's stop the slander. Because there's a lot of these people, like Green Bay hasn't been to the Super Bowl in a minute, and you never did hear them slander, Aaron Rodgers' name.
And look how he behaves out there, But see, the thing is, bro, we just a bigger fan base, so it's always going to be pollution. But that's why the community, what we do here, it's important because context matters, and we always have context for our conversations. Like, if Dak is messing up, trust and believe, I'm gonna come right on this channel and tell y'all he's messing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, so that's what people got to understand. Like,
I'm gonna get on him.
Right. But it's like we ain't gonna slander him just for the hell of it because it's trendy. So that's it, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this show up, man, because I got everybody. Let's say, go ahead.
Let me ask you a question, Tuck, right quick.
Go ahead.
When we talk about Dak Prescott, we're going to know how this offense is going to be because I believe they're going to draft a quarterback based off the quarterback that they draft in this draft. That's going to tell you where this offense is going because you're not going to draft a quarterback. Listen, they signed Cooper Rush because he was cheap.
Right.
And they want to have a backup in place. But if they sign a quarterback in this draft, right? Whatever his skill set is, that's going to tell you how they're going to operate Dak because that's what they believe in. And that quarterback is going to fall in line with that type of skill set.
So perfect segue, Coach Marl. I got a video on this tomorrow. This is the make or break year for Dak Prescott in Dallas, because one thing we have to watch is Mike McCarthy now has all the leverage. We got rid of Kellen Moore. This is his team. So if there's any remote sense that, hey, Mike McCarthy and Dak aren't clicking, they are going to favor Mike McCarthy over Dak Prescott. Trust me. So we got to keep our eyes on this relationship, because Mike McCarthy, he's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows like Kellen Moore was. So he's going to work directly with Dak. But if we start seeing things and rumblings where this connection isn't working out, like you said, Coach Marv, if they go and draft like a Aiden O'Connell or a Clayton Tune on day 3, kind of sitting there, we definitely got to keep our eyes open. So we'll definitely take a look at that, man.
I've been saying this. I've been saying this the whole time. And this guy might not even be around on day 2. Somebody might go up and get in all this craziness talking about he the 13th ranked quarterback. The quarterback out of UCLA is not a 13th ranked quarterback in this draft. There's no way possible that this guy's career, as much as he done played football and done playing a pro style type of offense, is a 13th ranked quarterback in this draft. And it wouldn't surprise me that somebody makes a move up to get him.
Cowboys going
this guy, and they can get him in the 2nd round or 3rd round early, they got them a steal, and they got a guy that's going to compete for a starting position.
Facts.
Right.
Facts.
So,
facts. All right,
and I
y'all.
want to say one more.
Can I say one thing? Go ahead, man. Let everybody know where they can find you. Say one last thing, bro. We get on out of here.
One more thing is, please, Dallas Cowboy Nation and everybody else, please respect our content creators. I have seen on so many comments where y'all are going at our content creators. They're not saying that they're right, and they're not saying what they say is right and what y'all say doesn't matter. They're just giving you what they think. They're not saying, oh, I'm right and that's it. They're just giving you what they think. So please respect our content creators, because they don't have to do this. But they do it anyway, and they take time from their family to do this. So
appreciate
that's all
that,
I want
man.
to say.
Appreciate, amen to that, brother, man. Because like I said, it's not about me, man. It's not the J Tuck show, man. This is all about all of us. If it was the J Tuck show, I wouldn't have all y'all on my show right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting back letting Coach. This is the Coach Marr show. I'm letting Coach Marr cook right now. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it's all about, man. It's about the power of the community. All of us coming together and putting our best ideas together, because all of us want the same damn thing. We just want to win a 6th championship. I don't give a damn who does it, right? Just get it done. That's what we all after, man. So we just all putting our best ideas together. And like I said, I respect the community. I love the community, man. Y'all giving me so much life, so many opportunities, like I said, and it's still up for here, man. But yo, everyone in the chat, man, everyone who tuned in, I appreciate y'all, man. Turn on that notification bell. Subscribe if you haven't already. We got a lot more draft content. Like I said, we are 17 days away. I'm going to be on Radio Row here in Kansas City at the draft. I'm going to have a lot of interesting interviews, a lot of different people stopping by, so you definitely don't want to miss out. Before we go, man, Scoop, tell everybody where they can find you, my guy.
Well, I'm not on social media, but I'll be on there. In a minute. I'm getting all my equipment, but I'll let y'all know that.
All right, you gotta come back. You gotta come back, man. I know Chase.
Coach Marv, though.
Chase, stay low key, man. Coach Marv, man, tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, man, just find me on Twitter. I'll be put at Coach Marv 1914. All one word, Coach Marv 1914. Oh Lord, I lost y'all.
Are you good? We still here.
Yeah,
okay.
We appreciate you.
So yeah, man, just find me there, man. But I'll be following these guys, man. And like I said, man, y'all do a great job, man. Tuck, you do a great job of going out there and putting your stuff out there.
Appreciate it.
And for the Cowboy Nation. And just think about it. This year, what we're doing is building a new Cowboy fan base. This new fan base, a lot of them went around when the grind it took to get to those championships. And I think a lot of them think it's easy to get to those championships, but the people that have been around like old me, I've been around for all the Super Bowls and know the grind it takes. But once we get there, we have been successful at building a new fan base, knowing how to do it. And then I think a lot of the skepticism will go out the way because we'll know how to get there.
Right.
And we'll know to stick with people to get there.
And that's what it's about.
We got to get to that top to get rid of this losing mentality of a fan base, because we need success. And once we get that success, that fan base will be ready to sustain success. But right now, we all over the place because we hadn't won yet.
Yeah, we got some fixing to do, man. But that's like, what my personal job is community is just to educate. Like my guy, Professor O, man, it's like, O knows how much film I watch. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always texting O. Hell, my wife would tell you, because I'm probably up to like midnight watching film. And now it's not the fun film. Now it's the 6th-round prospect film, you know what I'm saying, from Chattanooga or something. So it ain't too sexy, right? But I do that because I want y'all to be educated. So you might hear a name called on day 2 or day 3 instead of saying, oh, this guy sucks, why did we pick him? You know what I'm saying? Ivan Pace Jr., what the hell, out of Cincinnati? You're going to be like, oh, no, that's the guy Tuck and them been talking about. I saw his film. He's actually pretty good. So you can have those conversations, and it really just sparks a ripple effect, man. So that's what we're trying to do in this community and other communities as well. We do our research. Anytime y'all hear me say something, I show y'all my work. I didn't show y'all all my draft notes. We sat here and watched film last Friday for 3 hours all together as a family. Like, I ain't got no magic sauce. I ain't got nothing to hide, man. It's just hard work and hard effort and putting our best thoughts together, man.
I know I gave, because people say stuff and you take notes and mental notes, and
I'm always listening.
Say, let me look into that. But Tuck, look at the 2009 to 2014, those 2 teams, and you will be able to almost pinpoint
what we're doing,
what type of players these 2 teams want to get, and where they're going to go, and how they're going to construct this thing.
Right.
The blueprint is already there, and good coaches don't they may change a little,
right? But they
don't leave good blueprints.
Right. And what
they don't leave them alone,
because it helps us get an identity. It helps us get an identity, man. It helps us get an identity.
Hey, so my granddaddy watched you in law. He want to sing. Like my granddad, he that older cat. I'm talking about he was a Dallas Cowboy fan when they won the Cowboy. They was the Steers at one point, and they was the Rangers. And I'm talking about I got some Steers and Rangers jerseys too. So I'm gonna send, if y'all want one, just let me know.
I bet, man. Appreciate it.
I hit you guys up on Twitter, so you can send me your P.O. box number and stuff, and we'll have them shipped out to y'all. Like I said, these are Rangers. For all you Cowboy fans, thank y'all, real Cowboy fans. You ain't no Cowboy fan, you don't know about Rangers and Steers being their name at one point.
Right. And the crazy part, man, that's the thing. A lot of Cowboys fans don't know our history, man, and it's sad because it's like y'all don't know where we come from. Like even before the triplets, you know what I'm saying? We were something before then, like the Tom Landry era. That kind of gets wiped out. Like I did a whole thing where I was going to give these autographed Trayvon Diggs rookie cards out to people on the channel if y'all could sing the fight song. Nobody could get it done. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know about the Cowboys stampede. None of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, I tried.
My dad was a Cowboy fan, and he used to take ridicule. People don't understand, back in the 70s, man, the Cowboys was known as a team that can't win the big one.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
People kill them for that. They can't win the big one.
Right.
They wanted to run Roger Staubach out because they said Roger Staubach couldn't win the big one.
Right.
Regardless of whatever he did, he couldn't win the big one.
Right. And that's how we got. That's how we got America's team, y'all, because everyone was rooting for the team that could never win. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like Jerry just took it and marketed it, but we was America's team before Jerry even got here because everybody in the country was rooting for the Cowboys to finally pull through. Now look at where we're at right now. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody a Cowboys hater, you know what I'm saying? So that's the part of it. That's the one thing going back, man. It's just knowing your history. I always tell people, read your history. Like, know where you come from. Like Cowboys fan, you know what I'm saying? So
like when I say Steers and Rangers, Coach Marv mouth like,
yeah, they know.
That boy knows something.
Yeah,
you just gotta know about your team. Like I said,
know about your team.
You know, I got those jerseys, and we'll get y'all some. But you know, it's not just to, you know, it's just when somebody come over, they be like, man, what is Dallas Steers? Oh man, that's the Cowboy before they change to the Cowboys. What's the Rangers? That's the Rangers before.
Right.
So,
you know. Appreciate it, family. Hit me on Twitter, man. Once again, salute to everyone in the chat, man. We're going to do this every Monday. Y'all know where to find us. We went early because I felt like going. I felt like cooking a little bit longer. But every Monday at 7 o'clock, we're going to be right here for the JAANN app. Salute to everyone who joined in, everyone in the chat, man. I appreciate you guys. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. Go Cowboys. And I got a lot more draft film coming up for y'all. So turn on that notification bell so y'all don't miss out.